episode number 3 of the 15-Minute Drill Podcast. I'm Walter Johnson, and over the next 15 minutes, I'm going to cram in all the final scores from many games in Southwest and South Central Georgia, Albany, Valdosta, Moultrie, Tifton, Thomasville, Cordele, Americus, and everywhere in between. So, let's go ahead and get started. Start with the big game down in Cairo, Georgia. The battle for the Barnett's Creek Bucket. And the Thomas County Central Yellow Jackets took on the Cairo Serve Makers. It was a seesaw battle throughout the game, or at least for the first maybe 3 quarters. And Cairo took a 14-13 lead at the half. And in the second half, Thomas County Central went ahead to stay on a touchdown early in the third quarter, made it 20-14. And the Yellow Jackets female kicker, Lauren Pearson, had a field goal in the early stages of the fourth quarter to make it 23-14. And the Serve Makers responded with a field goal of their own with 99 seconds to play, 1 minute 39 seconds to be exact. Made the final score 23-17. And Cairo tried to recover the onside kick in the closing seconds, but Thomas County Central held on and eventually ran out the clock, won 23-17. And with the win, Thomas County Central goes to 3-0 on the season, while the Serve Makers, after holding off the Thomasville Bulldogs in a 23-12 victory in a battle for the syrup pitcher, fell to 1-1 the season. And it was and with that win over Cairo, Thomas County Central snapped a 2-game losing streak over Cairo, and had Cairo won that game on Friday night, September 2nd, and it would have been the first time since the late 60s, say about 1969, that Cairo won 3 in a row against Thomas County Central. Back then, it was Thomas County Central was known as Central of Thomasville. But again, it was Thomas County Central coming out on top over Cairo, 23-17, and moving right along just up the road in Pelham. The Hornets started the season off 2-0, going into their battle in GHSA Region 1 Single A action against the Terrell County Green Waves, who came in at 0-2. Having lost to Taylor County in their opener, and to Miller County the following week. But following a slow start, it was the Green Waves picking up a 24-15 upset win over the Hornets. And it was a big region win for the Green Waves, who are now 1-2 overall, and more importantly, they're 1-1 in GSSA Region 1 Single A. And as for the Hornets, they fall to 2-1 on the season, their Hornets' first loss of the season, and dropping to 1-1 GHSA Region 1 Single A. And it's mostly it's all region games from here on out the rest of the way, with just 12 schools in GHSA Region 1 Single A, and 10 of them actually playing a full region schedule, and a full 10-game schedule at least. Full season of games. And most of the teams play are only limited to one non-region contest. And puts a premium on those region games, especially with the power ratings late in the season. And the top 24 teams in the public and private school divisions advance to the state playoffs. And elsewhere in 1 Single A, and going further north along US Highway 19, It was Mitchell County stomping Stewart County 46-0. And moving on to Albany. Some Albany area games. Westover kept Albany High winless with a 26-9 victory. And the Patriots are now 1-1, while Albany High is still looking for win number 1. And Albany High falls 0-3. And head coach Felton Williams and his Chargers still haven't won a game in about roughly one calendar year. And Albany High was 0-9 last year. And for the Orange and Green, it's getting off to an even rougher start for this year at 0-3. And over in Sylvester, the Worth County Rams were one of the many teams, one of the few teams, I should say, that suited up on Friday night due to Hurricane Hermine. And many games were either rescheduled for Saturday, September 3rd, or for a later date, or won't be played at all. More on that toward the end of this podcast. But in any case, the Worth County Rams lose their second game in 3 tries, and both of their losses so far have come against teams from JHSA Region 1 Single A in just 2 weeks prior. And the Rams fell at Thomas County Central 48-7. And then they pulled out a come behind win at Turner County in a rally 39-36. Last second field goal by kicker Seth Suter. Tonight, however, and the Rams lose a heartbreaker in their home opener to the Veterans Warhawks out of Kathleen, Georgia, in Houston County. In Central Georgia, final score, Veterans 13 and Worth County 10. And moving right along, and going back to the GISA right now, the Deerfield Windsor Knights snapped the 2-game losing streak as the Deerfield Windsor Knights snapped the 2-game losing streak as they defeated the Terrell Academy Eagles out of Dawson, Georgia. Final score 42-28, Deerfield on top. And the Knights improved to 2-2 on the season. And the Knights will host Pinewood Christian out of Belleville, Georgia, Southeast Georgia next week. And staying in the GISA, and the Westwood Wildcats from Camilla lose for the 3rd week in a row. And the Wildcats fell to Flint River 34-14. And another GISA games, Southland lost on the last second field goal to Heritage out of Noonan, Georgia, 31-28, the final score. On Thursday night, the Tift County Blue Devils defeated Thunder Ridge of Colorado down in Orlando, Florida, final score 55-19, and the Blue Devils improved to 3-0 on the season. And the only team in GHSA Region 17A that's still undefeated through 3 games. And now we're going to move on to some of those games. And that were scheduled to be played Saturday. In these Saturday games, and that were made, and they'll be played on Saturday, September 3rd, instead of on Friday, September 2nd, or even Thursday, September 1st, due to Hurricane Hermine, which made landfall in Florida late Thursday night, early Friday morning, plowed through much of southern Georgia, and especially in south central Georgia around Valdosta, Tifton, southeast Georgia, and all of that. And these are some of the games that will be played on Saturday in just a matter of hours, as this podcast is being recorded live At high noon, American Sumter visits Dewey County. Cook is at home against Brunswick. 2 p.m. kickoffs. The lost the Wildcats looking to go to 3-0 against Turner County. Crisp County and Turner County. Also a 2 o'clock kickoff. And the Lanier County Bulldogs will be in Savannah, taking on Savannah Country Day. And 6 p.m. Saturday night. Well, and before we get to that, Colquitt County Packers will be playing their third straight Saturday contest in as many weeks. And the Packers, back-to-back GHSA Class 6A state champions, will be looking for win number 1 against the Tucker Tigers out of the Metro Atlanta area, DeKalb County. And Colquitt County lost to Mill Creek at the Corky Kell Classic a couple of weeks ago, snapping a 30-game winning streak that spanned 2 full seasons, 2014-2015. And last Saturday night, August 27th, the Packers fell to American Heritage of Florida, 17-14. And it doesn't get any easier as the Packers face a good Tucker team. And that game will kick off at 3 p.m. on Saturday at 6 p.m. in Edison, Georgia. The Calhoun County Cougars, 21-0 shutout losers to Schley County in their opener last week, will face the Randolph Clay Red Devils in 7:30 kickoff. Lowndes against Parkview, and the games that have been postponed. And Macon County and Irwin County will play on Labor Day in Ocilla, Georgia, Monday, September 5th, 4 p.m. kickoff, 7 p.m. on Thursday, September 22nd. Baconton hosts Chattahoochee County. Bellwood at home against North Florida Christian, and a game that's yet to be determined. And these are the following games that will be canceled, most likely won't be made up. And Monroe was supposed to play Thomasville at Hugh Stadium in Albany on Thursday, September 1st, but that game was canceled. More than likely be made up on Friday, September 30th. If that game is made up at all. And the Lee County Trojans were supposed to host the Hardaway Hawks out of Columbus, and about 2-0 teams. And this was supposed to be the season. And again, this is supposed to be the home opener for the Trojans from Leesburg. But that game has been canceled, not be made up. And the same thing is true for the Bainbridge Bearcats at 0-1. They're supposed to travel down U.S. Highway 27, crossing the state line into Tallahassee, Florida, to face Lincoln at Tallahassee. But that game has been canceled. Same is true again. And the Daugherty Trojans were supposed to face Berrien in Nashville, Georgia. But that game has been postponed. And a couple of GISA games canceled as well. Brookwood of Thomasville traveling to Pinewood Christian in Belleville, Georgia, which is Deerfield Windsor's next opponent. And SGA, or Southwest Georgia Academy, was supposed to travel to the Georgia coast and face Frederica. And we're running, I'm about running out of time here. And the GICAA action up in Macon on Friday night. The Sherwood Christian Academy Eagles still looking for their first win of the season as Covenant Academy cruised to a 46-6 victory. And in the GISA game, Gatewood rolled past Tifteria 41-0. And on that note, and that'll end episode 3 of the 15-Minute Drill Podcast. I'm your host, Walter Johnson. Remember to listen to previous episodes of the 15-Minute Drill in the High School Football Roundup Podcast at SouthwestGeorgiaNetwork.com. Also, follow on YouTube and Spreaker at SWJ Network 12345. And on Twitter at SWJ Network. And thank you for listening. Have a good Labor Day weekend. I'm out.